Thank you very much. That raises the question, is anything irreversible in terms of democratization? But that's a philosophical discussion. Next on our agenda is LUTFI DERVISHI, who's the Director of Transparency International Albania. Could I please request you to try to be a bit, if you're just as long as the first two speakers, we will have no time for discussion. So let me just urge the remaining speakers to try to be more compact, and you will have a chance to speak more afterwards after the questions. So, but please, the floor is yours.
Can I ask a favor in exchange?
That depends on what it is.
I'd like to talk without mic. Some friends of mine are sleeping. I don't want to blame myself for destroying their dream. I have two presentations. One is a PowerPoint with 33 slides. No, 3 slides. And that is because the pictures can tell more than 1,000 words. And another one with a list of paradoxes of media in our time, because sometimes words can describe what eyes cannot see. So I'm starting with the later one. The paradox of media in our time. We have certainly more information, but less meaning. We have more live reporting, but less reports. We have more journalists, but less journals. We have more data, but less news. We have less readers, less listeners, less viewers, but more users. We have more investigative stories, but less attention. We have more sources for investigative stories, but more cases where the sources write the stories. We have now new media and old challenges. It is a time where it seems that we have more freedom online, but we need freedom offline too. It is a time when freedom promised in recent legislative reforms on defamation should be delivered in reality, and ways should be explored how to do that. It is the time that there is no need for censorship. We have self-censorship. It is a time where lots of journalists work without labor contract, but they have a contract, which should be invalidated, the contract with politicians. It's time for a new contract, the contract of media with public. It is a time of a new competition. We have journalists, we have citizen journalists, and politicians doing journalism. Albania is going to have general elections this Sunday. And we've seen time and again political parties reporting the campaign. They are reporting about themselves. And TV channels just serve as a mirror for the political parties. We live in an open society, but we feel open censorship and open pressure, public advertisement in favor of media operators close to the government. We know more or less who owns what, but we don't know where money comes from. It is a time where it's very difficult to predict the future. 5 years ago, we didn't know the role, the place, and the space that the social media would take in our professional and social life. But I can bet here today that I know what will happen exactly in 5 years' time with public media. It's not going to be public. We talk about freedom of journalists, freedom of media, but we forget that the media owners are not free. Talking about media, politics, and business, the only thing which comes in my mind is Bermuda Triangle. And what can you do for the media in the region? I see some hope, certainly more attention. This conference is a living proof of this. The yearly progress report and more conditionality. I'd like to emphasize the case of Macedonia, high-level accession dialogue launched by Commission in March last year, where protecting the freedom of expression in the media is one of the 5 key focus areas, and that's something good. Commissioner Füle mentioned this morning funding for EBU to strengthen the public service. Well, I'm a bit skeptical, but not against it. EU can do a lot, even for the very fact that it is out of Bermuda Triangle. Now I'd like to go to the shortest presentation with only 3 slides, which might give us an idea where to go in the future. Can I have the first slide? Second one? I apologize, there are 4 slides. First, we talked about the watchdog role of the media, and we started working as a journalist with that role in mind. But in Balkan, we have the proverb that the dog never barks when a family member passes by. A dog never barks to who feeds it. Next slide, please. That's dangerous. A hunting dog, and media is playing that role. Be honest about it. And the next slide is more frightening. That's infotainment, domesticated dog. So the future is in front of us. We have just to choose our role. Thank you.
Thank you very much for saving us a few minutes. Branko Čečin is next. He's a director of the Center for Investigative Journalism in Belgrade. The floor is yours.